one of the problems that I'm getting into is there are not enough deep-pocketed Dave Sims art buyers and Dave Sims patrons that I can just do one giant auction that takes place over 48 hours. It'll just evaporate everybody's money on whatever it is that they think that they can afford, and the rest of the pages will just go for $100 to $200. So I'm not doing that. It's basically I'm going to be selling my pages that are in the catalog. Carson's going to be selling his pages that are in the catalog. Carson, you want to do all your pages at once and do them all over one weekend? That's up to you. It's your pages. If you want to wait until San Diego to auction them, you wait until San Diego to auction them. We get all the way to San Diego and it doesn't look like the price of the artwork going up for anybody who's particularly interested. Well, we'll do it sometime after San Diego. But the important thing, there's two important things here. One, we really would like to get Strange Death of Alex Raymond Volume 1 printed and available for the people who have been waiting for it for 8 years, which is a relatively small handful of people. So the way of doing that is to say, okay, it's going to be expensive. It's going to cost about what an art catalog would cost, probably in the $50 to $75 range, because we don't know how many that we can sell. If we knew ahead of time that we could sell 500 of them, that's fine. It would be a lot less than that. But since we're going to be doing it as a Kickstarter and probably selling them directly to the retailers the first time around, again, on the basis of, do you want one of these? If you want one of these, okay, we'll register you on the list. Now you're part of the group that's going to be able to bid on the artwork. You don't have to bid on the artwork, but you're allowed to because you bought one of these. So essentially, there's that, and then there's, okay, all of these people who are, the Patreon people who have been supporting me every month for the last number of years, and the number of people who are definitely waiting and waiting and waiting for Strange Death of Alex Raymond #1. Okay, here's the best way that I can picture to do this to make sure that we take care of that audience first. After that, then we get into the situation of, is this an IDW book or is this a Ted Adams Clover Press book? And basically what I'm looking to do is to say, can it be both? Can we do a joint production, the first joint production of IDW and Clover Press? But I've only had the one conversation with Chris Ryle at IDW about this. I haven't talked to Ted Adams, and when I asked Chris when was the last time you talked to Ted Adams, it was months ago. So it's like, okay, all right. I don't think this is all going to get sorted out in a hurry, but I want to keep some forward momentum going here. So Strange Death of Alex Raymond, Volume 1, in its first form as an art catalog, can be made to exist sometime in the next, let's say, 3 or 4 months. And then X number of people will be getting it as Kickstarter supporters, that this is what they're buying and this is what they get. And then however much money I can bring in on that's not Carson's money. Carson gets his cut. He can do whatever he wants with his cut. I will take the money that I get and use that to theoretically print up 185 copies of Strange Death of Alex Raymond, Volume 1, the art catalog, so that say to people, here, I can sell you one of these right now. You can buy it as a store owner, you can buy it as an art collector, you can buy it for one of your best customers, you can buy it for your favorite Alex Raymond customer, your favorite Flash Gordon fan, whatever it is. I just want to make sure that I'm not getting trapped in this, it's a Marvel and DC store. So all they do is buy Marvel and DC. It's like, I don't think anybody just buys Marvel and DC in this day and age. I know that it looks that way to the avant-garde stores, but this is the problem. I'm in no man's land between the Marvel and DC stores and the avant-garde stores. The avant-garde stores hate me because I'm this evil misogynist, and Gary Groth hates me, and Fantagraphics hates me, and Veronica Quarterly hates me. So consequently, they all have to hate me. It's like, all right, so it's very difficult for me to make a living off of you guys. But it doesn't seem any more difficult for me to go into a Marvel and DC store where I don't think they even know who I am, let alone hate me because of my political view. If they do, that's fine. I'll be the one using up, 6 weeks, 8 weeks of my life, and everybody just slams the door in my face. No, I absolutely don't want Dave Sim anywhere near my store under any circumstances. Okay, I'll live with that. But I really don't think that's the situation. I think that's histrionic, extremist, leftist politics.
Okay.
How about that? I did that all in one breath.
Have you been rehearsing?
Not formally rehearsing, but there is this kind of what everybody else thinks reality is just getting so weird that I have to keep revisiting reality a lot. Like going, okay, well, this is 185 guys operating businesses in a pressure cooker situation where you're 3 bad decisions away from being driven out of business. I don't think your biggest concern with a guy walking in the front door of your store is whether or not he hates women. But that seems to be the consensus in the general comic book field, which is why I really don't, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to Comic-Con. It's like, it would be pointless to go to Comic-Con because that is one of those environments that's like that. Unless I can set up something where, okay, they've got to have warning signs up around, trigger warning, Dave Sim is inside here, he's not a feminist, he's not willing to pretend to be a feminist, so enter at your own risk kind of thing. It's like, why would Comic-Con do that? So I think it's more a matter of, by the time I get to San Diego, or by the time Carson and I get to San Diego, if he joins on July 11th, I think I'll probably have a list of open-minded people that I can meet with about things like the You Don't Know Jack television show. Like, here's the titles where we've got the audio done. Sean and Stephanie Herringtown did all of the audio, and we have a finished version of it, and now it's over to Oliver Simonson to do the actual animation on it. And the titles tell the whole story of the You Don't Know Jack television show. So it's, okay, I'm going to be, at least theoretically or possibly, shopping a television show around California. Probably not selling it in Sacramento, and probably not, selling it points north would be interested in at least seeing the titles to the You Don't Know Jack television show. And then, if somebody wants to do Strange Death of Alex Raymond, the movie, if they're willing to keep themselves confined to Volume 1, that's fine. But I don't want to get into the George R.R. Martin situation of, Volume 2 of Strange Death of Alex Raymond came out, and meanwhile they're doing a television show where they're doing Volume 3 or Volume 4 or Volume 5. No, that's not going to happen. For exactly the reason that I don't think he wanted that to happen with Game of Thrones, but I'm sure George entertained himself to a great extent, going, well, this will be funny. How do you do a condensed television show of a book that hasn't been written yet? I don't want to do that with Strange Death of Alex Raymond. Definitely, if somebody says, well, sell me one of your art catalogs which has all of Volume 1 in it. I'll read to the end of Volume 1, and I'll let you know what kind of option money I'd be willing to give you for Volume 1, with an option on Volume 2, an option on Volume 3, that kind of thing. But in terms of, and the same thing with signing autographs. Like if you know that Dave Sim is coming to California, and you know that Dave Sim is going to every comic book store in California, and you follow the tentative schedule on a moment of service, hey, it's my lunch hour. I think I'll go over to whatever the name of the store is and hang around outside with my copy of Spawn 10 and Turtles number 8 and see if I can get Dave to sign them for me. It's like, sure, I'll be happy to sign them for you. If somebody wants a complete set signed, I don't know. Have you got a car? Like, you want to give me a list to the next stop? You might get some jittery autographs, but sure, I'll sign your whole set of service while you drive me to wherever it is, 70 miles down the highway, and buy me lunch or whatever else it is. And I'll stay very, very loose on this. Like, what I'm trying to do is just put a floor under it, which is let's say IDW doesn't want to give me any support whatsoever. Clover Press doesn't want to give me any support. Heritage Auctions doesn't want to give me any support. Diamond Comic Distributors doesn't want to give me any support. Well, okay, fine. We're going to figure out how to do this without any help from anybody, because I just want to find out how many copies of Strange Death of Alex Raymond, the art catalog, I can sell to people. I don't really know how much help I need with that. I'm going to have Rolly look into, the bus. So, nobody wants to give me a ride. That's fine. Okay, I'll take the bus. I have no problem with that. I might end up sleeping in a couple of bus stations. That's fine. This is it's an education process. It's okay. California, top to bottom, virtually everybody absolutely loathes and despises Dave Sim because that's what good, right-thinking people do. So Dave Sim just has to take the bus or take a cab or a walk or mooch a ride off of Oliver Simonson or his small cohort of friends, and he ended up not selling anything from the top of California all the way down to San Diego, and then I flew home. The end.
The one comment about making it into a documentary, all I'm thinking is it's going to be the weirdest version of the Incredible Hulk TV show anyone has ever seen.